Live from the NJ.com studio comes the only weekly TV podcast you'll need, where a lofty critic squares off with an obsessed superfan on everything from highbrow drama to lowbrow reality. The cocktail shaker is ready. Prepare for your TV hangover. Now, your hosts, Vicki Hyman and Erin Medley.
Hello and welcome to TV Hangover. I am one of your hosts, Erin Medley, along with Vicki Hyman. Hi, Vicki.
Hey, how you doing?
Vicki has come in just for the podcast today, which I'm so thrilled about.
Yes, I'm staycationing.
She's supposed to be on vacation. This is episode 12. Mm-hmm. Woo! Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at TV Hangover Show, at E_Meds, and at Vicki High.
Vickihy. Off my game already.
Oh my goodness. A couple days off and Vicki doesn't know what to do. Also, we have an email address. It's tvhangovershow@njadvancedmedia.com. Vicki.
Yes.
SAG nominations came out today.
Yes, they did. I didn't even look at
them.
You didn't even look at them. I've been on vacation.
Because you've been on vacation. So I'll fill you in here. So for outstanding performance by a male actor in a drama series, we have Peter Dinklage for Game of Thrones, John Hamm for Mad Men, Rami Malek for Mr. Robot, Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, and Kevin Spacey for House of Cards.
Oh, that is that last one. There are so many other people who should have been in that spot.
But look, Rami Malek made it.
Yes, that's really great news.
I'm impressed by that. Outstanding performance by female actor in drama series, Claire Danes for Homeland, Viola Davis for How to Get Away with Murder, Juliana Margulies, The Good Wife, Maggie Smith for Downton Abbey, and Robin Wright for House of Cards.
I'm sorry, I think I fell asleep in the middle of that. I'm sorry. I love Lady Grantham. Is that her name?
Yes.
Except I stopped watching it a while back. But she's great. But I mean, there's nothing a Downton Abbey should be nominated for.
Well, they're also nominated for outstanding performance by an ensemble and a drama.
Oh my God! Except for steepest decline in quality.
All right. So in our comedy categories, we have outstanding performance by a male actor, Ty Burrell for Modern Family, Louis C.K. for Louis. William H. Macy for Shameless.
Yay!
Jim Parsons for The Big Bang Theory, and Jeffrey Tambor for Transparent.
Again, Jeffrey Tambor, not really a comedy there, but okay. I just started watching, by the way, Shameless, the next season, which premieres in January.
And?
It's interesting. It's a little more downbeat. So far, I've only watched part of the first episode.
I've never watched Shameless, but I hear it's good. I know.
It's so sick, and so many times I'm like, I can't believe this is actually happening.
That sounds like my kind of show.
It's really great.
All right, then maybe
it's great for binge watching.
I'll binge it. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a comedy series: Uzo Aduba in Orange Is the New Black, Edie Falco in Nurse Jackie, Ellie Kemper in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Veep, and Amy Poehler in Parks and Recreation.
Now let's just give it to Amy Poehler already.
No.
Yes.
How you're going to give it to Amy Poehler over Julia Louis-Dreyfus? Are you kidding me?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus is a national treasure, but I think even she's like, okay, I've had enough. Give it to Amy.
I don't know.
And she never got recognized for Parks and Recreation.
I know, but Veep
she was wonderful in it.
Veep is amazing. It's a good show, and she's hysterical. I'm not going to go through the ensemble categories here because, well, who cares? It's the SAGs. So
and the Golden Globes come out tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, which is Thursday, December 10th. The Golden Globe nominations come out. The Golden Globes are my favorite award show of the season
because
everyone's drunk.
And
they're mingling, and I love nothing more than drunk celebrities mingling.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. So we'll talk about the Golden Globe nominations next week. Now, in TV news, Vicki, one of our own, Queen Latifah, Deadline is reporting that she has been cast in Fox's new as-yet untitled music-themed project from Empire co-creator Lee Daniels. The show centers on the trials of 3 young women who hope to make it big in the music biz. And Latifah would play Carlotta, a beauty salon owner who acts as a surrogate mother to the girls.
Hasn't she played a beauty salon owner 2 or 3 times before?
It was in that barbershop movie.
I can't help thinking that she was a beauty shop owner and other things,
I think
too.
The movie was called Beauty Shop. That's what it was. Yes, it was like a barbershop, which is the Ice Cube movie, follow-up called Beauty Shop. I'm so glad you reminded me of that.
Well, I mean, she can pretty much do anything, Queen Latifah.
Except play the
No, she can play the Wiz. It just wasn't the most standout of a really. I'm sorry, she was the Wiz in the Wiz last week.
Yes,
and she was very good, but she just didn't do as much with the role. Maybe she didn't have as she wasn't. Anyway, she wasn't as good as everybody else on the show.
Right, right.
But she was very good still. Everybody else is greater.
Everyone else is great. Yes, greater. Everyone else is greater. So, Vicki, I know that you are a fan, and I am also a fan of Game of Thrones. And HBO recently released a season 6 teaser. And based on what it shows, and on their promo posters, it looks like Jon Snow is not dead.
Of course he's not dead.
Jon Snow lives! Hashtag.
Of course.
Let's listen to the trailer.
We watch, we listen, and we remember. The past is already written. The ink is dry.
They have no idea what's going to happen.
So, in the end there, is that Bran that we hear say there's no idea? They have no idea what's going to happen? I don't remember.
Oh, no, I thought the voiceover was the guy in the tree.
Yeah, but at the very end.
Oh, yes, I think that's Bran.
Yeah, I think that's Bran, too, because we haven't seen Bran. Bran's been gone
He was
for
gone the entire
season.
season. He's probably like 7 feet tall now.
Probably. He is a quick grown kid.
No, going back to Jon Snow for a second. As you know, and you've made fun of me for, I'm in a TV watching club. We've been doing it once a week for 5 years. We watch 2 episodes a week.
The way that you roll your eyes when I say I don't have Netflix is the same way I roll my eyes when I hear you're in a
My TV watching club is awesome.
Okay.
They're awesome. I love them. We were watching Game of Thrones now. Everybody's shaking their head at me. So I'm the only one of the group who's watched Game of Thrones and read all the books. And so basically I'm there for footnotes. Okay, reminding people this is the. And so the people I'm with, I love them, but they cannot keep track of anybody in the show. You know, they're like, like Stannis shows up and they're like, who's that? I'm like, that's Stannis Baratheon!
Okay, but
no, my point is, we just finished the 5th season on Monday night.
Okay.
And the first thing they said after Jon Snow gets killed is like, oh, well, Melisandre's there, so of course he's not dead. So even people who are barely paying attention know that Jon Snow is not dead.
Of course Jon Snow is not dead. I was one of those people, I was late to Game of Thrones. I think I started watching season 3, so I binge watched seasons 1 and 2.
Oh, so you did watch them, okay.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I had no idea who anyone was until like season 3. There are a lot of cast members.
There are a lot, and actually there are
more than 25.
Oh my god! No,
cast
actually,
members.
you know what? Okay, Can I say something that's maybe you guys are going to think it's really weird?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I can't fall asleep at night.
Oh boy.
Okay. I think of characters from TV shows that have like really large casts, and I try to name them as much as possible. And I used to do this with The Wire when we watched The Wire. And I recently did this with Game of Thrones, and I got much past. The Wire was already like 65 named characters.
So this is like TV themed counting sheep.
That's exactly what it is. And I think I got up to like 80 named characters on Game of Thrones. It was insane.
Yes, Vicki, it was insane.
But I fell asleep.
Okay, well I'm glad you have. That is a cure for insomnia. Is naming characters on Game of Thrones. Well, I can't wait till the new season premieres in the spring.
April.
Very exciting. We'll talk about Game of Thrones a lot.
It's also very exciting because they have officially gone past where Bayonne's own George R.R. Martin left off.
Yes.
And I mean, I haven't heard anything from George R.R. Martin about when that new book's coming out. So, they say next year, so...
As they say, they're off script at this point. Vicki, it is 2.5 weeks before Christmas. We're currently in the middle of Hanukkah.
Yes, we are.
And so 'tis the season for holiday specials. Isn't it? Do you see
what
I did there, right?
It started basically Thanksgiving.
It did start Thanksgiving, and I think last week or the week before we had the Charlie Brown Christmas special, 50th anniversary. I know that you wrote a post on NJ.com about holiday specials, but what are some of your favorite holiday specials of all time?
Okay, well, I'm Jewish.
Yes.
I never suffered from Christmas envy growing up because I have 8 days and I get to eat fried foods for 8 days.
Crazy nights.
And 8 crazy nights.
Yeah.
So I never really got into the whole Christmas special thing, but there is one that I have a soft spot in my heart for, and it is, oh my God, it's Heat Miser, Cold Miser, The Year Without a Santa Claus, the Rankin Bass musical. And I swear to God, I every year I write about, here are the holiday specials. I always make it a point to mention that one, and then I go to YouTube and I watch that little number, and I just adore it. It's my favorite. And I think it's so much better, I think, than Rudolph. And I don't know, Rudolph is just a little sappy. I actually
It's for children.
It's really sappy.
Okay.
I get more into the weirdness of The Year Without a Santa Claus. And I also really like, what's the other one with the Forgotten Toys? The Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me, Anthony? He's trying to think of it. Yeah. Is that the one with the baby, like a freaky looking baby New Year?
I don't know. I don't watch Christmas or holiday specials, like traditional ones.
What do you watch?
I thought that was the same one. The Year Without a Santa Claus is the one.
Is that the one with the
Misfit
baby?
Toys. Yes.
Oh my God.
It's weird. I don't know.
I think it's a different one.
I'm not really into like the animated cartoons or anything like that. My new Christmas holiday special tradition is watching the colorized I Love Lucy specials that have been running on CBS. This is the third year. This year they're doing Vitamin Benjamin.
But it's not a Christmas special, is it?
It's not a Christmas. Well, I don't know what they're doing this year, but what they've done the last 2 years is they do one regular episode, and then they do the episode where Lucy, Ethel, Fred, and
Ricky?
Thank you, Ricky. Jeez, dress up as Santa Claus to surprise little Ricky. Like they all try to surprise him, so they're all Santa Clauses. So they add that on to the end of whatever the first.
Just the scene?
No, the whole episode. So it's like a 2-hour special.
Oh my God.
And so that's been my new tradition. I Love Lucy is my favorite television show of all time.
Pretty good taste.
Thank you. So I will watch episodes over and over again. And I've heard a lot of people, like the colorization of these old episodes is controversial because obviously they aired in black and white. But I think it's fun. I like it. It feels special. I like that they do it at the holiday season.
Did you watch A Very Merry Christmas? The Bill Murray special on Netflix. Oh, it was actually really cute. I saw it the other night, and I enjoyed it very much. Bill Murray is supposedly putting on a nationally televised show from the Carlisle, kind of a vanity project. And New York gets a horrible blizzard and nobody can show up. And so he ends up sort of throwing a party for whoever's in the hotel. And so there's a lot of friends who show up. Really great performances. Maya Rudolph sings. And, she's the daughter of Minnie Riperton. Yes. So she's got a great voice.
You is easy 'cause you're beautiful.
She's got a great voice.
Thank you. I do.
Sorry.
Oh, it's amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys.
Maya Rudolph has a great voice, but she still puts in like this humor to it. So it's like sometimes I just wish that she could just sing it straight because she's got some really powerful pipes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What?
George Clooney has the best role in it. I laughed harder than anything I've laughed at for a very long time.
Where do I watch this? On Netflix?
You watch it on Netflix.
I don't have Netflix.
Okay, well then I will have to call up my Netflix and show it to you. Bill Murray basically does his fantasy slow jam, and George Clooney pops out from behind a Christmas tree in like Barry White mode, singing like background, and it is hysterically funny. And Miley Cyrus is in it, and I forget she has a really good voice.
She does.
She does.
My other favorite.
She's not licking anything, by the way, in this episode,
or riding a wrecking ball. My other more recent favorite holiday special is the Sing Off on NBC, which is not coming back.
I know.
They're so annoying about it because it'll be on for 2 years and then it won't come back, and then they'll bring it back, and it's just like the Pentatonics are a legit music group.
Absolutely.
And they won, I think it was like season 4 of the Sing Off. So clearly there's real talent. It's exciting. It's only on for like 4 weeks.
I think when it first started it was longer, but
it
the holidays.
was longer.
I think actually the last time was just like a one-off holiday special, like one episode.
Yeah, it was like 2 hours. I mean, the more Sing Off, the better, in my opinion. I think it's
the more Nick Lachey, the better. Really?
No, that's not what I said. I really enjoy acapella, so I wish NBC would bring that back. Maybe 2016. Vicki,
Erin,
every week,
yes,
we talk about the show that I hate watch and you watch.
I hate to love watch,
and that's Quanitco.
Quanitco. I'm back down again.
Oh, really?
I have to say, I don't even know what to say anymore about it.
It's so terrible.
Okay. I guess my pet peeve this week is that last week we had the Anne Heche character,
yes,
the profiler who Asher was able to figure out was actually a killer.
Not Asher.
Asher.
Wait,
Asher,
is that his name?
Isn't that his name?
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
Asher.
I'm thinking of like How to Get Away with Murder.
No, not that Asher.
Different
this Asher.
This
okay.
You know I don't
Asher.
know names.
Yes.
Right. Wait, I thought his name was Simon.
Simon, you're right.
Oh, Simon Asher. Oh. Woo!
Okay. So let's call him Simon.
Let's call him Simon.
Okay, starting this conversation over. So Simon, the previous episode had figured out that Anne Heche's character had killed somebody to frame them because she couldn't otherwise arrest this guy for being a serial killer. And then he reported her, and everybody got super mad at him because a serial killer was let loose. Because of something, which I just think is like probably the most ridiculous thing. But I also thought it sets up either the second half of the season or for next year trying to capture a serial killer. I was thinking maybe they're putting that in place.
You know
I don't
what?
know.
And I did hear that one of the creators of the show said that for season 2, it would not be a terrorist plot. It would be some other, thing that the FBI investigates. So serial killer could be it. Ooh,
yeah, and like
Vicky,
Anna. Thank you. So I just think that plot point is really ridiculous, and the whole idea. I don't want to get into politics here, but like. Nima or the other twin, calling him out as a war criminal. Raina calling him out as a war criminal, and it's like, oh my God, are we really going to do this?
And then the one recruit whose name I don't remember with the fake scar and the explanation I also didn't understand. Natalie, I didn't understand, and then you see how it sets her up to be in the relationship with hot guy, whatever his name is.
Oh
Jake?
God,
no.
Oh.
Ryan
Booth.
Why do we need names on this show? Let's just describe their physical characteristics. Hot guy and Scar Lady are gonna hook up.
Actually the part that I didn't really get was Shelby and Shelby's douchey boyfriend set up Shelby's sister,
Fake
who was
sister.
running some sort of
Not
scam
real
on her.
sister.
Not real sister.
She was being catfished for 15 years.
For
15 years ago, catfish wasn't even a word.
Okay, let's just bring this down to the basic problem I have with Quantum, because people are pretty stupid and they're really bad investigators. I mean, they're looking at stuff, and Shelby comes in and she sees like a corner of a thing they weren't able to hide. She realizes what's going on. It's like ridiculous. It wasn't Shelby, it was actually Natalie.
Yeah.
They're just terrible investigators.
And this is the FBI.
Yes.
And also... we have one more episode right before the next episode is the winter finale
where we find out who the bomber is.
Thank God. I can't. How much longer can we drag this on?
I guess one more episode.
Oh, I guess so. So we'll be talking about that next week. But wait, before we go off of Quantico, who do you think the bomber is?
I'm still sticking with one of the twins.
Are you?
Yes, I'm just sticking with, because who else at this point?
I'm gonna stick with Simon Asher now that we know his full name. No,
I don't think
too
so.
obvious.
Too obvious, and they kind of took him out of it last week by saying, "Oh, I was just running this simulation to scare." I don't even know.
The only other person that it could be would be Miranda. That's her name, right?
Yeah, which I've said in the past.
You have. So, that would be
because they mentioned her son at one point, and I was like, "Oh, what's with the son again?"
The son is annoying. Yeah. That's a plot point that is either there to irritate us, or that's the clue. Yeah. Point. So we'll see. So another thing that aired on Sunday that we must discuss is the Leftovers finale.
My favorite show of the year.
Oh, here's how I feel about the Leftovers. I loved it. I'm still confused.
Well, that's what I loved about what they did with the show, and I may have mentioned this last week, is that it's full of mysteries, but you're not mad at them for not answering the mysteries, although they do answer a bunch of them.
They do.
And they don't do it in a look at me kind of way like Damon Lindelof did in Lost when he did finally answer them.
Right.
I thought it was beautiful. I loved the ending. I thought it sort of set itself up for a third season, even though
for a series finale. I mean, it could go either way with that ending.
Yes, it could. I'm saying I don't think it's going to come back from what I hear.
Right.
But I'm very sad about that. But it did set itself up.
So basically, for those of you guys who didn't see it, spoiler alert. At this point, you should have watched it. What happened is that Meg arrives she's already there in Miracle, and she has this grand plan that they've sort of been alluding to, and Evie, who was one of the missing girls whom everyone thought was departed, is actually alive. Meg drives a trailer, Airstream, onto the bridge that connects, the park to Jordan.
I'm sorry, but also not very good security.
There's
5,000 people out there, and you can just ram through it.
But those are... who do you call? Those are park rangers. They don't have guns.
I know, but it was just
it's a national park.
It seemed like a really flimsy barrier, considering how people want to get into the park.
Agreed. And so she drives the trailer onto the bridge. She threatens to blow it up. She says in an hour it's going to blow up. But 2 seconds later, Evie and her two friends walk out. And, you know, we see some other things where Kevin dies again.
When he, so I did roll my eyes when he woke up in the hotel again.
I was like, oh, not the water and the music. But this time he chose to be Mapleton Sheriff, which we all know is what he should have been. And then he had to sing karaoke to come back to life. And I was just like,
kind of beautiful.
Was it though?
Well, I was also like, ooh, when it was Homeward Bound, like cigarettes and magazines. I was like, ooh, cigarettes and magazines. I got so excited. Clappy. Sorry.
So when he wakes up, you know, he's back in Mapleton and the whole area is destroyed.
Back in Jarden.
Oh, sorry, Jarden. Yeah. All of the crazy people from the park,
the encampment outside,
have now taken over the town. Meg and Evie and the rest of the guilty remnant are in like the visitor center, and you know, Kevin. I've left out the part where he got shot by John, but
who thinks that he
kidnapped Evie. That's before Evie showed up again,
like 2 seconds before.
Exactly. And then Kevin gets home and his whole family is there. Everyone, ex-wife, estranged son, daughter, you know, adopted African American baby, new girlfriend's brother. And his wife, who woke up. She was not comatose.
I was so surprised. I was so happy about that. Mary woke up. And we found out that the Reverend didn't rape her when she was in a coma, which I was very relieved about. I was actually sad to say I was kind of on board with it had he... I'm sorry.
Oh, she was what? You were on board with him? What?
I was like...
Sleeping with his comatose wife?
I mean, not really, but I was very happy to know that he wasn't crazy.
Oh, wow.
I assumed that if he had raped her, it's because he did it crazed out of grief. Not that that's okay. People do not rape...
No, yeah, that's not
rape comatose women.
No.
Obviously.
And impregnate them.
Yes. But I mean, I was just happy that he wasn't crazy.
Well, Vicki, we have a clip from the show. Let's take a listen.
Park's closed today.
Really? Why?
It's October 14th. It's the anniversary of the departure. It's a time for the town folks to be with themselves, reflect.
Reflect on what?
I'm sorry?
Well, nothing happened here to the townsfolk. It's kind of like a temple closing down on Christmas. Not really your holiday, don't you think?
I'm sorry, ma'am, but unless you have a wristband or a dispensation form, I'm going to have to ask you to turn around.
I have 35 pounds of plastic explosive. Will that work?
What?
I love it. She's just like,
she is nuts.
I'm just gonna, oh
yeah.
But here, I was reading online. So that was Meg, played by Liv Tyler, who's been sort of like a central character this season. Definitely a crazy person. But I was reading online that people said, well, Evie, isn't she really the most crazy of all? She's like a psychopath, Evie.
You can say that she's a psychopath, but I will also point out, having a teenager myself, she's also a teenager. And teenagers are very moody, emotional creatures.
Yes,
so,
but do teenagers smile in your face, pretend like they really love you, and then decide all of a sudden that they're going to go...
You get back to me when you have a teenager.
I was a teenager.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny because from the very beginning, I always thought that there was something like a little weird about Evie. She seemed actually to me like a real teenager, which is not something you see a lot on television. She seemed very real to me, and then the fact that she turned out to be sort of a psychopath or sociopath actually kind of fits with what I think teenagers really are.
Oh boy. Well, here's the thing, Vicki. Here's my question that is still kind of unanswered. So we know that Virgil, who turned out to be Erica's father, whom I thought was John's father the whole time.
It went back and forth, actually.
It went back and forth. So Virgil's the guy who helped Kevin get rid of Patty.
Yes.
But Virgil is Erica's father. We know that he did something. He molested or...
Somebody. We don't know who he did it to.
We don't know who. One of the theories I read online is that maybe it was Evie.
Maybe it was Evie, yeah.
Another theory I read is that it was Erica and Evie and the brother are the grandfather's children.
I think it's getting a little too gothic for me. I think the idea is that even though Miracle Jarden was spared, there's still, horrible things happening in this town, and they can't think of themselves as blessed when these horrible things have happened, which may be one of the reasons why Evie, was silently rebelling against, she was among the people who sang that, Miracle theme song and beautiful voice. I knew you were going to break into it. I was waiting for it to happen.
That's the second time I've sang this episode.
So that's part of the reason why, she kind of goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right. Well, my overall theory on the show is that everyone's crazy. There's something wrong with all of them. Yeah. Except for...
Nora.
No,
Nora seems pretty sane.
Nora is... Are you... Do you not recall last season when Nora would hire prostitutes to shoot her?
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay. All right.
But she's trying to move on. She is trying to move on.
Okay, sure. So that was the leftovers. Hopefully it'll come back. If it doesn't come back, I'm pretty satisfied with the way that it ended.
Yes.
Good show though. Vicki, a show that I am pretty sure you have never watched in your life and probably
never will watch.
Never. Don't know what I'm talking about, is MTV's The Challenge.
Well, you guys talked about it once before,
we
so
did.
I know that.
I thought you tuned us out.
So I did.
Producer Anthony is here to join me for a conversation about Battle of the Bloodlines.
Let me tell you, I think you tweeted at me and I tweeted back at you last week, and I stand by being afraid for this country after seeing
this is the youth of America.
The display of the youth of America. You were young once. I was. Everyone in this room was 21 once. I'd like to think that none of us acted like that.
No. So what happened on the season premiere, Vicki, is that they're in Turkey because the challenge always takes place in some exotic locale. They're in Turkey. There's a time difference, so they're all awake because even though it's nighttime there, I guess, here it would be in the daytime. They drank all night.
So far sounds like when I was 21.
Yeah, there's like 40 of them.
Right. And they're up all night. The sun's coming up. They're still drinking. It's like the middle of the day to them. And you know what happens when you drink all night?
You sleep after that?
Negative.
Oh, you fight, Vicki.
Yes,
you fight. Okay, that's not like when I was 21.
And not only do you fight, if you're Tony from what season was he on?
Real World.
I Have Issues.
Yes,
that season.
Yes,
the last season of the Real World. If you're Tony, you fight with your brother. Like you bash his head into
his little skinny brother.
Yeah.
Who's just trying to keep the peace. Doesn't want to make waves. You take his head and you bash it into a plate on the wall.
On the wall, yes. Because
isn't that like what happened with Ronnie and the situation when they were in Italy?
Yes, that was awesome.
It's different because they were strangers. These two were brothers.
Because you saw it coming from a mile away. This kid Tony is just. He's not likable.
He's hot though. Let's be clear.
Yes,
but
maybe right.
but
he's a handsome chap. But he cheats on his girlfriends left and right.
Which, by the way, on the show, there's this one woman who is flirting with him. Again, first night, flirting with him. They go into a room. You hear some noises. MTV thankfully captions it for us, and they say like pants unzipping. Kissing, whatever. So he's hooking up with this girl. Anthony, remember
Maddie, right?
that we know, whatever.
Right.
Remember that we know that his girlfriend at home is pregnant.
That's what I mean.
We know this. It's not mentioned on the show, but as fans,
we know this. And she was probably
this.
Either pregnant or in the
something.
He must have known this going there.
And he's hooking up with some chick on TV and then had the nerve to deny it in the confessional. And it's like reality show people. If you have a microphone on,
right,
they know what's going on.
My point is always that reality show people, they're also playing a part. They are doing what it's expected. They have to fight. They are paid to fight and to snog.
Untrue.
Yes.
Untrue.
That's what makes the challenge so great. Just put them there, and the conflict will happen.
Right, but
you don't think they go in knowing this is what I have to do?
No, because after this fight, they were told if anyone, they were like, this is warning number 1. If anyone else gets physical, you are going home immediately. And we have seen that happen in the past. They don't want them to fight because many seasons ago at this point, CT and Adam, who were both on the Real World Paris a long time ago, they were on a challenge together, and CT beat the crap out of Adam.
YouTube it. It's terrifying.
It is like, what is going on? And that, I think, really taught MTV that, like, maybe we shouldn't want people to fight because this could be dangerous and
legally.
scary. And
legally. Can we go back even further? Remember Real World Seattle, where the girl with Lyme disease got smacked by the
by Steven. Hello, Irene and Steven.
Oh my God, you remember their names?
Yes, I've watched every
season. He threw her bunny into the...
But basically, I don't want to say all he did was stuff, but he slapped her
because
and he left.
Let's be clear.
Had to leave.
Let's break it down real quick. That's because she said, Steven, you and I will never be together. because you're a homosexual. And then he slapped her and said, haha, these nuts. And then he threw her
Then he threw her little bunny into the river.
How many years ago was this? And I remember
that was like 97.
Word for word. That's how good it was.
But the point is, like, the guy got kicked off the show for mistaken for slapping a girl, and then, but I mean, like, these people are, like, fighting.
Oh, they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting.
And they're serious about it.
I mean, you're also talking about the evolution of what audiences are used to now.
Right.
That was a long time ago. And even before that, on Real World in L.A., Steven, the comedian, got
with
kicked
Tammy,
off
pulling
with
the cover off of Tammy. Yes.
That would have happened on the first night.
And then she yelled rape,
Right.
and that was terrible. One day, Anthony and I will do a deep dive on the Real World's best moments. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that when the new season of the Real World premieres.
We'll do that.
Vegas, right?
We'll
Yes, Vegas. That's where
Vegas
I went.
again.
Vegas again.
Because Vegas is awesome.
A few weeks ago, I was in Vegas, and I emailed Anthony, like, I'm in the hotel where they're shooting the Real World.
Awesome. I mean, it's a great locale. I mean, and again, the conflict will just bring itself. So I look forward to that.
So we're thrilled about this season of the challenge. We'll probably talk about it again.
I'm sure because CT is coming back. Other psycho, Abram. Yeah.
Which we have to figure out how they're bringing in these new people.
I don't know either.
Unclear. No rules this season.
I'm on board.
We are totally on board. And you know what I'm on board with, Vicki? A really good TV theme song.
Okay.
Yes, that's my transition.
Now, do you mean like a theme song written specifically for a show, or just the very good use of a song, very effective use of a song as part of the opening sequence?
Either.
Okay.
And I think nowadays we don't really have that many shows with themes.
Certainly not broadcast is not doing it, but you'll find it a lot on streaming on HBO, and they're masters.
They are. And I know that you have a couple favorites.
I have a couple of all-time favorites. Of course, everybody loves Game of Thrones. I mean, the music is just wonderful. I'm a map nerd.
Yeah.
And so I love literally watching the camera, whatever, pan over the compass, pan over Westeros and Essos and go in on the little clockwork cities and seeing like little changes. And it just gets me excited for every single episode.
Did you know that changes every week?
Of course I knew that.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't change so much anymore. But it did change every week when you were like focusing on, okay, we're in Dorne this week, we're on Marine this week. But yeah.
Yes, well,
I love it.
I must admit that I fast forward through that every time.
I love it every single time. Like dun da da dun.
No,
I mean, I love it.
You know the one that I hate. I know we're talking about love, but the one that I hate is Homeland. Like that, it drives me insane.
I actually fast forward through that one.
Okay, good. Yeah. It's like 3 minutes. It's long, and so is the Game of Thrones one. What are some of your other favorites?
Well, of all time, I don't know if you remember the show called Carnival, which was on HBO for 2 seasons. It had a beautifully done opening credits where it's basically like tarot cards, but the tarot would have like historical figures in it, and it would sort of like go in and out of being black and white and then animated in sort of 3D, and it was just beautifully done. And I urge everybody to YouTube that. I also am a big fan of Dexter, which was a very smart use of metaphor. I'm getting ready in the morning, and he's like, you see a close-up of a razor, then you realize he's just shaving. He's not actually murdering somebody, and like the spurt of a blood orange, and it's very, very well done. But I wanted to bring attention to a couple of recent opening credits, because I am very sad that we don't see them very much anymore. Amazon had Bosch earlier this year, which was pretty good. It was not like amazing. I'm a big fan of the Michael Connelly books. Titus Welliver stars in it. It was very well done, following basically one murderer they're trying to catch throughout the whole series. The theme song is by Caught a Ghost, which I just Googled because I didn't know who. Caught a Ghost, and it's called Can't Let Go, and it's sort of like very propulsive music, but it's set up against, Los Angeles as the star, much like in True Detective, but there's sort of like a kaleidoscopic effect, so you see like, you can see he's driving in Los Angeles, and like above it you see the mirror effect of it, and they sort of go into each other like a kaleidoscope, and it's just very, very well done, and it draws me in every time. Speaking of theme songs, I thought Leonard Cohen's use of Nevermind in True Detective Season 2 is probably the best thing about Season 2. And interestingly enough, it's a long song, and they use different verses.
Each week?
For the episode, every week. Sometimes I think it's the same, but they T-Bone Burnett is the music supervisor, and they go in and out.
T-Bone Burnett, whose wife was the music supervisor on the first season of Nashville.
Really?
Random.
Hold on, I thought he was married to Callie Corey. Is he not married to Callie Corey?
Or was
who
she
created
the
Nashville?
creator? Sorry,
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, he was the music supervisor on the first season of Nashville
that's right.
because his wife was the creator. You're right. That's how we get there. I knew there was some connection.
And the other one I really want to mention is The Man in the High Castle, which is another Amazon show. It is an alternative history of what would happen if the Nazis and Japanese had won and taken over in America. Opens in 1962 in a United States that is East Coast is Nazi Germany, the West Coast is Japan,
And that's on Amazon Prime.
That's on Amazon Prime. They have an uneasy alliance, and the opening credits is this very soft version of Edelweiss, and they use all of these iconic American figures, sort of like the Statue of Liberty and Mount Rushmore, and it's sort of set up against a projector because the show has a lot to do with these like propaganda movies that have come out, but you see bits and pieces of like war scenes sort of projected onto the figures of these American icons, and it's so beautifully done.
Well, I obviously like more upbeat songs because I like to dance, and so my current favorite opening credits are Orange is the New Black.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. Where you see the different faces and you hear the song by I can't remember her name right now. She was a one-hit wonder before she had this
Ronnie Spector?
Regina
Spector, thank you. I was close.
Yes.
Don't give me that look, Anthony. I was close.
It was close.
I don't hear you piping up, Anthony.
It was close enough to get me to the real answer. Regina Spector. And I also like this season's credits for The Leftovers.
I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was a good redo.
I wasn't really crazy about last season's, which were sort of like the Renaissance paintings and agony, blah blah blah. I mean, I thought it was good, but this one, it totally has me. It's by Iris DeMent. It's a very jangly country song,
right?
And I honestly, I watch those credits every week, and I get moved because you see basically snapshots of families, and then one or two people will be just their outlines with like astral projections inside
and
them,
those
or
are
lightning, or whatever, and it just. It moves me every single time.
I like that one. Now, I'm going to kick it old school. And back in the day, the opening credits were simply the actors on the show with their names. But there was always a good theme song. So my two favorites of all time, I'll start with the first one, is... Thank you for being a friend.
I can't sing.
Travel down the road and back again. I love the Golden Girls theme song. It's the best.
I was actually singing this to my husband, and I was saying, wow, these are really stupid lyrics. If you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, Thank you for being a friend. That's so lame.
Why is that lame?
I don't know. It's like, why do you need to give somebody a present and sign it, thank you for being, like, I don't get it.
Because it's going to be the biggest gift. It's going to be the biggest gift. I also love this theme song because there's a whole part in the middle that most people don't know, because when you watch the reruns on like Lifetime or Logo or whatever channel you can watch Golden Girls on, they skip that part. And it's a whole song. And I'm into it every step of the way because I know the words and it's upbeat and jaunty and it's about friendship. My second favorite theme song of all time is this one. This is it. This is life, the one you get. So go and have a ball. This is it. This is it. I mean, one day at a time.
Yeah, it's pretty jaunty.
It is. And it's just like every time it's on, I want to dance. Those are the theme songs that I miss, and that I wish would come back on shows like Blackish or Modern Family.
You want to have a jaunty
Don't
theme
you
song?
think a Blackish theme song would be amazing?
It probably. I mean, I think if they put their minds to it, it'd probably be pretty amazing.
Yes.
I don't know. It's like half-hour sitcoms. It's like the way they're much denser. The comedy is much denser than they used to be, with like jokes that kind of come back. And so I think they need all the time that they have, and they're not going to waste time on a theme song.
But that being said, I really do enjoy the Modern Family opening credits, and I watch those every week because it's so cool how they do the picture-in-picture thing. And the song is.
I do watch that. It's actually very effective, and it is opening credits. And yeah, the music's great.
Right. Yeah. So all right. So we have one modern comedy that has a semi decent opening credits. So Vicki, that's gonna do it for the 12th show of TV Hangover. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at TV Hangover Show and subscribe and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and tune in. I got them all. And guys, by the way, we are so thankful that you interact with us on Twitter. Vicki and I love to see your tweets, so don't forget to tweet us at @E_meds or at Vicki Hy, VICKIHY. Let us know what you're watching. If you ever have any questions, shoot them our way, and we may talk about you and your question here on TV Hangover Show.